Flosstube, welcome back. It's Sian here, Periwinkle Stitcher, and today, I can't believe it, I just went to check the date and it's Friday the 30th, which is unlucky for some. Let's hope it's not unlucky for us today. I do have so much stuff, I don't know how I'm gonna, even I've written some notes down, I don't know how I'm gonna stick to the agenda and get through everything today. I've done loads and loads of stitching this last month. It's been a sort of quiet month because I've been home most of the time, but I've also done a lot. I've been quite busy, and straight after my last Flosstube, I pretty much spent a day in A&E with my dad. Unfortunately, he fell in the night and didn't tell me for a day or two because he thought it would go away, the pain, but in fact he broke some ribs, which is really bad, but he's on the mend, and there's nothing you can do for it. You've just got to sort of sit quietly, but he's back in the car driving around now. But that was a couple of days of worry and strife, and so I did take one of my stitches to A&E. I think we waited 6 hours, but I mean, once you get through the wait, the service is just fantastic. They were brilliant. But yeah, so that was that. So it's been a game of two halves. So it's sort of some downsides, but some really lovely things as well. Britta came to stay with me for a weekend when Ian went over to West Wales for Burns Night, for the haggis. He's learned the poem for Burns Night, you know, when they have this celebration to cut the haggis. And so Britta came to stay with me, and we worked on our Smoky Santas, and had a lovely time. And I actually went back to Britta's for a day. Was it this week? I think it was actually. I went there and back, which was quite a long trip. And coming back, the M4 was shut, and the sat-nav didn't know that the motorway was closed, which is unusual on Waze because they normally know, don't they? And they'll get you back to Cardiff on the A roads. But even Waze didn't know about the road closures. So I was just driving round and round Newport Centre like a lunatic, completely lost. And in the end, Phil had to come and get me. But during that day at Britta's, I did have a tiny finish. So it's the first thing I'm going to show you. It's weeny, but it's wonderful. It's one of Britta's friends who lives in the same village as her. She's called Filipa Pereira. She's Portuguese. She's a doll artist. Go and have a look on Instagram to see her. She is called Little Matilda Atelier. And at the end in the photographs, I've put a photo of this finish because it's going to be quite hard to show. And I've put her name there. So if you're interested in seeing the things she makes these beautiful little tiny frogs and tiny mushrooms. And we made this at Britta, sitting around the kitchen table with her friend Sue and Louise, and we just had the most wonderful day with Philippa. The dolls that she commissions and sells are just the Blythe dolls and other types of dolls. They're those exquisite ones. It's a rabbit hole I'm not going to let myself go down, but I think Britta's fallen down there, and I know other people have got these dolls. Remember, they were in Kentucky, the dolls afternoon picnic. And so what this is it's calico, lightweight calico, and you stuff it with kapok, which is the stuffing I normally use to do my small pillows. It's a 100% cotton. It looks like sort of sheep wool, but it's softer. It does go up your nose, so if you've got asthma, it's probably not a good idea. But so you stuff it with that, and then she hand whipped the side with a darker thread, and then we painted these with those fabric pens. I need to order some, and so I'll share those with you on a future Flosstube when they come in. And then you paint the calico with white, and then you use the Tim Holtz sort of distresser pad around the edges to make it look dirty like a mushroom. I mean, it's just fab, isn't it? So I'm going to be hanging that hopefully off a zipper pull. I mean, I think Britta put a pin on the back of hers so she can put it on her denim jacket, which is also quite a cool thing to do, isn't it? So yeah, it was really fun, and to sit and just fiddle about doing that on a day this week. So that's a little finish I had. Really pushed me outside my comfort zone because it was so creative. It was so much fun. Another little finish I had was, remember last time I'd started this series, I've got the chart here, Snowmen in the Forecast. I kept saying in the forest, but it's actually Snowmen in the Forecast by our favourite Brenda Jabet with Thy Needle and Thread. I couldn't get the vintage homespun linen that was called for, so I used prairie grass, which I thought was a pretty good match, and it was just a bit I had left, whoops, in my drawer by Seraphim, and I think this is 40 count. I think I'd done him before, and because he was looking a bit worried, wasn't he? Oh, that's right. I'd only done him, and I hadn't stitched the things around the edge, I think. I can't remember. Anyway, I finished it now, and I made him up. I used I don't know what fabric it is. Phil bought me a fat quarter bundle of these polka dots, and they're all different colours, and this one just went perfectly with this thread. So I finished them all the same, and I did the triple beaded trim around the edge, just using some regular cheap old beads from my local craft shop, which they're just Gutermann 90 beads, and I've got them in a pearl effect, but these are more sort of snowflake colours. They just looked really good with the white thread. So he's really cute. This is the other little one where I tried to turn his straight stitch into more of a smile, so he looks a little bit happier. And it's a lovely thread. It's a different thread for Brenda. It's a sort of duck eggy tealy blue, but quite different to the Snowball book, you know, where it was DMC. I think these were Weeks and Gentle Arts tealy colours. And this one is Let's Build a Snowman with that cute little house. So yeah, so this is the one with the most stitching. That took the longest by a mile because of the quilt stars. So they're a lovely block now that I've had all through January, and I was just waiting to put those away because of course I've switched up now into my Valentine finishes, so they'll go away. I only kept them out to show you. And then you'll laugh at this, I did manage what I called a little, well, it's in my hand, so that's how small it is, a tiny little blessing sampler for January. So this was the fabulous chart that we were given in Swindon at Mrs. Parkman's Academy this year by Ray Niles, who's so lovely, from Red Barn Samplers. She gave us this chart, and she gave us the beautiful painter thread that I shared with you last time, which is an over-dyed 103 silk. And if you're looking for painter threads, apparently Fobbles in North England sell them. So I made this up. Now, I was going to stitch it on the linen as it was, because I thought it was 40 count, but this was a little scrap piece of Picture This plus Tyco, and it was actually 36 count. So I decided to, it wasn't big enough. So I thought, right, okay, genius moment. I have to do it 1/1. So I really enjoyed it. And the painter thread, because they're so fine, they're like 103 silk. They're very, very, it's thin. So it worked great on 36 count. So that's 1/1. And I finished it on this gorgeous fabric with a tiny pin dot that I've used before. It's the smallest pin dot. Don't know what the fabric is, but it's gorgeous. And then I just whip stitched it on the bottom. I only left like not even an inch on the bottom to turn it, and it's just the most darling little finish. I had some Mill Hill beads, because you know, over the years I've done a few The Bride and By Lavender and Lace, and what's the other one I did? Angel of Spring years ago by Lavender and Lace. I don't have those to share with you, but I do have a great collection of little beads, and so that went perfectly with this variegated thread, and it was just so much fun to stitch with a painter's thread. So there we are. That was my little blessing sampler. So hopefully my needles will be blessed for the rest of this year. And I must admit, I've got off to a great start. I've done loads of stitching. So this was A. Tebbott, 1882 by Red Barn Samplers. Just the cutest little stitch. So I can put that away now. So those were my finishes for the month. I thought actually, right, I'll come on to, I have got another finish, but it's not cross stitch. So I'll just show you a couple of the little things I've just put up now for Valentine's Day. This is one of my favorites. It hangs in the hall on the mirror, finished exactly like Brenda Jabet with Thy Needle and Thread designed it. So this is the wordplay from February. I've done the January and February, and really need to get on with some of the others, because a lovely lady, Alison Lallyby 50, I think she is on Instagram, lent me 2 of the other charts that she had. So I think she lent me some of the summer months anyway, so I really need to get those done so I can send the charts back. Alison, if you're watching, let me know your shipping address, please, would you? So I can return them to you, because I feel so bad I'm hanging on to them. So this is the February one, just lovely. I couldn't get the call for, I think it was Vintage Homespun or something like that, so I just used Picture This Plus, I think it's vellum. Yeah, the little one I just showed you, that Tiny Blessing sampler, was on Tyco. This is on vellum, which is a less white and more of a sort of mottled cream, beautiful colour, and a gorgeous gingham on the back, and the tealy blue to pick out the sort of blue in his coat, and a velvet ribbon, and just some really rusty old pins to hold the ribbon on. So it's not stitched on, I can change the ribbon out if I want. So each one I'm doing a different colour velvet linen to match some of the threads, but I just love the reds in there, they just pop. So that's a really, really pretty one of my favourites actually. So that's up in the hall. Another one I've got is probably one of the oldest stitches, which is a shepherd's bush. What's it say? Every heart beats true. And I just leave it sitting in this little cloche. This is what it looks like. Classic shepherd's bush. It must have come as a kit, maybe around lockdown. And so, because I know that the beads and the finish, I wouldn't have done it like that. I'd have copied what shepherd's bush said, and they gave you the fabric to finish it. I just love their kits. So that's one of my favourites. It always stays up in the wine glass cupboard, and I just bring it out when it's Valentine's. I don't know why, because I think it's a patriotic stitch looking at it now, but every heart beats true. So it's okay for Valentine's too, isn't it? And it's got all the little beads that they give you in the kit with that. Then I did an Instagram post yesterday. I'm not very good on Instagram. I don't post very often. But I did post this yesterday because I'm feeling quite Valentine's. It's Galentine's Day today, isn't it? Which I thought was a Welsh. That's another one for Valentine's, the Welsh one. But Galentine's is, I think it's an American day. I think it originated in the States, and it's to celebrate all your female friendships in your life. So it's perfect to do a day to do a cross stitch with all my girlfriends that are into stitching. So this is another shepherd's bush kit called the Valentine's Trifles, and I just love the colours on this. It's a bit different from red. It just feels more like, I don't know, Parma Violet, sweetie colours. I love them so much. Again, it was a kit. This is on a linen called White Chocolate. I feel they're all 32 count. It's a beautiful sort of lemony colour. All the kits to finish it came with it, with the ribbon to ruche. They obviously told you to couch it down like Stacey Nash does on this. And it's got the little, I don't know if it came with the beads. Maybe I put the beads on there. So that one's been my Valentine. This is my favourite. This linen is called Violet Mist. And I don't know if you could, but it's got a hint of like Parma Violets about it. And it's just cute. I finished it with a triple beaded edge with tiny little seed beads. I think they're my own Mill Hill ones, and maybe I put them in the flowers, but I just love these. Valentine Trifles by Shepherd's Bush with the same backing fabric. Did it come with the backing fabric? I think it did. And this was obviously the challenging one because the shape isn't perfect here, but I did my best on a small heart. And this is for my love, and it's got the little beads around the edge. I was obviously in my triple beaded finish era, and these are pink. I much prefer the dark amethyst colour on that one, but I think the pink went with the little flowers on this one better. So yeah, aren't they darling? So they just sit out in the hall. As you come in the hallway, they're there, and the wordplay one is hanging off the mirror. I just love them. And then linked to my Valentine display. Oh, I've got another one. I've got my, I don't know if you could see at the top, you can't really, but I've shown you these before, so I won't show those. They're my love notes by Brenda Jabet, and they're stitched on Mayflower Mocha 40 count. This one is the Holiday Hoopla Valentine one by Brenda. Look at the colours on that. She is just lovely. I've only done one of the Holiday Hooplas. I've just ordered some more. And Country Stitches online, Brenda Jabet, her shop is open again. I have got the St. Patrick's one, and I think I've got the Christmas one, but there are others as well. And so this is the only one I've done. I ordered the little Tilda, you can get Tilda or Liberty fabric covering the little hoops from a shop called Stitch Kit Crafts. And sometimes she has little sales on, like over Christmas or Black Friday. If you sign up for a newsletter, she tells you when the new fabric release. So I'm pretty sure this is a Tilda, a Christmas line, and it's called Stitch Kit Crafts, and she does all sizes. This is the 3-inch, if I remember rightly, and it's just a bit prettier than the wood ones, you know. And so I need to get a green one now for my St. Patrick's one, and I just put a ribbon on the back. You can buy them with the wooden back so you don't see your ugly stitching. I don't know what that's doing on there. I think that's come out of a chocolate box somewhere, and it's sort of stuck on there, so I just left it there for now. So there it is, and she hangs up there, and she couldn't be cuter. She's got her harp. Yeah, and it says love in backstitch. Isn't she lovely? And she kind of has got the same face as Love Me a Latte and the little Cupid up there. So they're just some little Valentine things. I have got Brenda Jabet, the big stitch saying love. I'll put all the photos of the other ones in at the end, so you can see what I've got. So those are my finishes. No, one more thing. When I went to Britta's, I asked her to help me get better at doing the ribbons on these amazing strawberries. Do you remember last year I made this? These are from Jo Heiny. Mary Jo and I think it's her daughter Claire Heiny have the most fabulous website. They got a gorgeous shop, Jo Heiny Designs. Let me show you. This is her card. And I bought this kit from Mary Jo last year, and I had only made one, and I think there were 6. Are there 6 or 5 strawberries? I think it might be 5. Yeah, 5 in a kit. And I picked the reddest one to start and made this last year, and it was so much fun. And I think it looked amazing. Really, I couldn't believe that I managed to finish this myself, because it was so, each of those leaves is an individual piece of ribbon cut off the length, you know. I just thought it was a ruffle, but it's not. They're individual leaves, and you sew them back together as a ruff, and then you put all the little seed beads on the top. It all comes in the kit with this beautiful hand-dyed, each piece has got its own colour, like old velvet. It's beautiful silk velvet. And every kit she sells in her shop has got a different colour, beautiful dyed velvet. That's what you go into a shop for, is the beautiful velvets, because you can't buy them like this. I've tried to buy velvet many times, but it's a flat cover. The colour, these are more like dyed, you know, over dyed. So this week I went to Britta's and she was so kind. She gave me a lesson on how to make the ribbons a bit better. So that's Britta's one, which is perfect. And that's my one, which is better than that. Although, to be fair, I think that looks quite realistic. You know, that I don't think strawberries in the wild are perfect. But look at the colours of these. So this is in the kit I bought last year. And at the end, I'll show you my Happy Mail because Mary Jo has sent me a kit this year. And it's the new pink release. But look at those. So these have been sitting in this little bowl in my hallway with the rest of my Valentine's display, and they are absolutely beautiful. The colour of these velvets, I can't explain to you how the colour changes as you turn them from like a gold to a purple to a pink, and they are so fun to make, and all the beads for each one in the ribbons are slightly different colours, so they're just going to be stunning. So the two I've got left now, I'm really motivated now to crack on. I've made the things. I did all these at the same time last year. So now I need to fill them. And you can see all the different colours of the velvets here. Each one is different and lined. And then we'll stuff them. She sent everything in the kits. And then you get a little pack to go. So each strawberry will have its own top. So the beads are packed with the sequins because they sit in sequins. I don't know if you can see that. But each of the beads is sitting in a little sequin that catches the light. So pretty. And the DMC is just something you twist on itself to make the little cord to hang it off. And then the ribbon, you starch it. And that's what I made the mistake on the first time. I didn't starch the ribbon. So Britta taught me to starch it and how to make the ruff. So I'm really excited to carry on with that and take a day. It would take a day, I think, to make the last two. And these are the different kits that she has. Do go and have a look at her website. I'll show you the new kit I've got at the end when it comes to Happy Mail. But these are some of the ones. So Britta's got the Halloween set, and that set she's made, which is gorgeous. Look at the natural green ones. They're based on real natural strawberry colours that are found in the wild. That's another beautiful set with the pale pinks and whites. I'd love to get that one. And this is the original set that I bought last year. Just fabulous. And the other thing she's got on her website, she's got the shamrock, the cloverleaf, little like green, all different colour greens. So there are two different sets you can have. And what else? Oh, the silk covered acorns. They're just all exquisite. So yeah, I think it's a project that would be really nice to have sort of continuously on the go. Right, so that's all my finishes, I think, for now, and my little display of what I've got around my house at the moment. So now we'll start on what I've been up to, what I've been stitching in this sort of quiet month. It's been so wet here that I've spent a lot of time inside stitching. So here's I finished off January, stitch every day, I think. Oh no, A&E with Dad, and then a day with Britta. Oh no, Britta came here. So yeah, that was 2 days. I didn't really get any stitching in, but I got lots of stickers, lots of finished threads. I've got a Lancaster Red by Weeks finished there. And my Prairie Grass by Seraphim I finished. I've got my first tea bag, Time for Tea kit from the Stitchery, and a Chantel 141 finishing board that I've obviously opened up to think about something. And then in February, I've had a Laurie Holt sticker there for something I finished. I've obviously finished a Red Rocks and a Grits from Weeks. I'm pretty sure that would be from Lottie. I've done a lot of stitching and some shopping from Suzanne Curtis, who you might remember I've shopped from last year when I bought a strawberry from her that I could sort of use to help me learn how to finish my strawberry. So that's my book of days. I've been keeping it, and it's so useful preparing for this Flosstube, because when it comes to thinking, well, what do I need to iron? that's what I do. I go back in the cupboards and fish everything out that I've been working on. So the first project I share with you every time in my gorgeous Stitch Folk bag by Barry is Lottie. And this chart is Charlotte Warrington 1838 by Needlework Press. This was an exclusive from the Homespun Needlework group on Facebook, and I got mine through Colorado Cross Stitcher, who was supplying the kits for this time. And Vicky Jeanette has signed the back of mine. Enjoy every stitch, and I do. I am a bit obsessed now with Lottie. So it's a huge project, but she's just fun, and I love this so much. Now, I was on the second or third release, and mine came with the Weeks Dye Works linen called Straw and the Weeks threads. That's the option I picked. Now, other people picked silks on Mason linen. I think that was an option, or Weeks on Mason, and I think Hog Bristle was one of the releases. But I went with the Week Straw and the overdyed, and I couldn't be happier. This is just the perfect, oh, there's a needle there with, okay, put that back in there. This to me is the perfect combination. Now, she doesn't fit on my board, so I'm just gonna have to stand with her. This is just the ultimate happy comfort stitch. Weeks on weeks for me, and this is the Zweigart base. So I've done a lot of days this month on Lottie, and all I've done is the border, a big chunky floral border. So I've come down the side here, yeah, I'd done the peacock blue there last time, and so this time I carried on the border and I did loads. There's a lot of stitching in these flowers. And that bright yellow is Weeks Curry. Never did I ever think I'd be using curry, so much of it, because it runs down all the border, all the way. And it's in almost all of the flowers. And the green lily pad, there's another curry flower. And that's peacock blue. Peacoat blue, is it? No, that's navy, isn't it? I can't remember. Maybe it's definitely one of the gorgeous bright blues. I just love that. So I'm nearly there. I think I'm at the bottom, but I've got to fill in a couple of the flowers, and then I'll be there, and I can turn the corner and start on the green grass fill-in. So this is what she's looking like. I mean, it's just like a work of art. I love her so much. I can't wait to finish this piece. I really want to keep on every month doing more. I'm not scared of it because the motifs are like manageable. I know there's a big old lady to come here, and a bloke, I think. And I think that Laura Duet, the serial starter, I think she did it as a standalone piece, the lady on there, didn't she, as a pillow, and put it in her dough bowl. So it's doable. They're big motifs, but I think it's okay. I'm not worried about it. I just enjoy stitching on her so much, so I can't wait to get back to that. I've got to keep trying to fold it in different ways. Then the next one I try and stitch a little bit on every month, and this is a massive project. I think it's going to take as long as Lottie. So this is in my gorgeous Laurie Holt bag that I made myself out of the panels. And this is the one that Phil bought me with the Au Versoir silks from 123 Stitch one Christmas. I've got my little scissor fob on there. And these are all the Au Versoir Soie d'Alger. So they're the sort of fluffy, shiny silks. If you don't keep them in the bags, they do go a bit fluffy. I've just noticed the ones in the bags are perfect, and the ones I leave in my little thread beds that I make for nearly all my projects, crazy. That is crazy, isn't it? That's how many colours are ongoing at the moment, and they're all on needles ready to go. but these can get fluffy by the next month if you just leave them, I don't know, knocking around in the project bag. So this is Jane Banister by Hands Across the Sea. She's a Welsh girl, and I just loved her. She was in my wish list, so that's how Phil sort of came across her from 123 Stitch, and I love her because of the floral border. That's what drew me in, because I'm not a cat lover, but I do love the pastoral scene here. I'm not gonna lie, I am scared to start these cats, because if you look at the pages, even though these charts are beautiful, they're all in colour like this from Hands Across the Sea, that is no joke. It's just solid confetti colours changing. And this border, I must have been working on it a year now, and I've got like loads still to do. Let me get my board. Oh, she is beautiful, Jane. She's too big for the board. Let's not do the board. This is Jane. So again, this time I've done a mass of chunky floral border. I'm trying to think, is that? Yeah, that's what I've done this time. I came round the corner here, finished off the leaves at the bottom, and then went up the side. That took me a couple of days. It is confetti stitching until you get a little bit of white filling, but even that white lily, is it, has got a grey. There are 3 or 4 colours in there, just in the white. There's a very pale grey as well. The rose has got an amber and 3 pinks. The blue has got 2 blues, a white and a pink, 2 pinks. There is a lot of colour changing, but look at it. It is just so beautiful. Now, this is stitched on the Tabby Cat unnamed linen. It's a Sotoma base. It's an Italian linen. It's got quite a weight to it. It is gorgeous. Look at the colour. I just love this linen. It's not Zweigart, but it doesn't matter. It's beautiful and it is heavy. If you could feel it, it's a real quality linen. It's 37 count, so it takes the au reservoir puffiness perfectly. You wouldn't want 103 on here, I don't think, because it'd be a bit thin, whereas this is very thick and rich, and the reds just look, I mean, you can't say it about your own work, but I mean, that just takes my breath away. So now I've turned the corner, I can almost sort of visualise it coming together, but I am scared to start the cats, which is why, are the cats here? I think they are. Oh, which is why I went back to doing border stitching. Speaking of border stitching, Renee Prairie Stitcher 515 on Instagram. Renee has just started her own Flosstube, and she is a natural. I really enjoyed it, and Renee and Kim, the Contented Needleworker, they don't like borders, so they wouldn't like this. But honestly, I'm going to call this Flosstube the one with all the chunky floral borders, because all I've done this month is really focus on chunky floral borders. So I spent about 3 days on Lottie. I spent 2 or 3 days on Jane, and there's more. And last time I called it all about the flower urns, didn't I? And when I was putting them away, I counted up, and I think there were 7 flower urns. This time, I don't think I got 7 chunky floral borders, but I tell you what, I have got a few. So the next one is in my gorgeous Barry Stitch Folk, the classic tomato bag. So many people have got that bag from Barry, all in line with Blackbird fabric. Again, with my little Nancy wool fobs. Oh, that's my favourite one she's ever done. I've got another one of those somewhere. Now, this is the one, I won't show you the threads because it's just DMC. Beautiful DMC by Manny D. Donnett. Horrible charts. No logic to the symbols. The heavy blacked out symbols are not DMC 310, but another colour. But I'm forgiving everything on this chart because and this is a chart, by the way, I pull mine into GoodNotes. I take pictures and I track it otherwise you'd have to highlight this and colour it in, because it's not easy to follow. But I thoroughly recommend GoodNotes if you're not using it. It's so easy, it's free. Don't be forced into paying for the version that you can pay for. You just need to cross out anything that makes you pay for and just stick with the free version if you like. And now I haven't ironed this because I was working on this yesterday. So this is Eunice Tanquerel by Manny Di Donna on 40 count weeks cocoa, which is a beautiful linen, and with the DMC. It's honestly probably the cheapest, most cost-effective project I'm working on. But in terms of wow factor, I think it's got it. It's DMC, palest pinks, and what did I do this time? Oh, here, this is what I did. I had been to those leaves, so I came all the way along here. Oh yeah, I did this along the bottom, turned the corner, that joined up, oh happy day, and started counting up the side. And so last time I had come down to there, and this time, look, I'm nearly getting this. I've done the gold, so I'm almost at the joining up phase. And now that's touching correctly there, I'm pretty confident, because it is, again, very confetti. You could go wrong here, I think. So I thought, the roses look so amazing that I just want to keep going on the border. So that's chunky floral border number 3. And remember last time I did this little flower urn down here. So that's repeated over here. So I need to get in there this month and maybe have a go. Although I'm going away now in March. You know, I always, we tend to go away over Phil's birthday. So I'm going to Antigua in March. So I won't be able to take anything like this with me on holiday. So we'll have to see if I can fit in another flower urn, because that did take me 2 or 3 days. And then in between, in the middle there are 2, I think they're foxes. And then there's something else in the middle, maybe a flower. So I've got 2 urns, 2 foxes. It's all mirrored on the bottom. So love this stitch. And I know so many of you have started working on Eunice. She really is a beauty. Right, next, chunky floral border. You'll recognise this straight away from the fabulous project bag that I bought for this project by Val from Patchwork Paw Print. She has a lot of the Hands Across the Sea panels or fabrics that she can make the bags up, and her bags are just beautifully made. This is a plain one inside, but that's okay. We've got the scissor. I've got the matching scissor fob, and this is for the stitch along for this year. Oh my goodness, this, right, unlike Lottie, who's just a little fun, little sweet thing, Maria Wales Newson, 1838, is a bit of a madam. So this is by Hands Across the Sea, and lots of people are taking part in this stitch along. She's very demanding, and Judy, can't remember her surname now, but Judy, who's super helpful, she is running the Stitch Along group on Facebook for the Friends of Hands Across the Sea. So if you want to put your progress each month on, like if you manage to get January done, and you want to post in the group, I think there's some drawing to win a prize at some point. I didn't know that, so I had posted my hashtag Maria Sal Progress, and what's the other one? There are 2 hashtags that she's got. I just made a post on Instagram and put the hashtag in. That's not enough. You have to make a post within the Friends of the Hands Across the Sea group. So I don't know if you're aware of that. I only got mine in literally on the last day, on the 31st of January, because I've made that oversight. So in case you don't know that. So this has been broken down into 12 months homework. and I just about got January done, but it took me 5 days. It took me even longer this time to do February because it is exquisite. Also, I don't know if anyone else has got this, but my colour description on the legend chart is all wrong. So I was wondering, because I use these and leave them out because they're a bit smaller than the chart. And I was wondering why it was calling something that I would call chocolate brown, grey green. And I thought, oh, I doubted myself. I trusted Nicholas so much that I was like, oh, Sean, no, that is avocado green, even when it looked like a grey brown, you know. Yeah, I think that's a mistake. So I don't know if everyone's got that mistake or just me. But this is the stunning homework we had to do this month. So more chunky floral border up here. I think we only had to do those 2 flowers this time. And all of this 1/1 and the 4-sided stitch, which is that's not a problem. That's quick and easy, but the 1/1, oh, it takes forever. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love it. And with 103s, because I'm using the called for, which, not the, I'm using the called for linen. This is Tabby Cat 40 count lichen. So I'm using the lichen, which is a gorgeous, like a green, grey, emphasis on the green. It really does, in the hands when you're stitching it, it is a beautiful pale green, but it's a bit of a sort of grey green. And then the silks, these stunning 103s, look at the colours. Quite a few limey greens, beautiful pinks, really, really beautiful in these lovely little boxes that I get off the Quilted Bear. And she's got a shop on Amazon as well. So if you put them in Amazon, you can find her there. And so each of these flowers is a different colour. And each of these flowers, honestly, is, well, I mean, I think they're more than an hour. There are about 4 colours, 5 colours in each one. And the 1/1 in the 103s on 40 count was fine. The hardest bit, I think, were the L's, you know, when you're just doing a straight stalk up. Because by the time you've got your 4th stitch in, the little thread of the linen is being pushed up into the next hole. So the hole seems to get smaller and smaller, and you think the L's are never going to stop. And there seem to be a lot of L's. Yeah. Never render. Oh, let me read you this. Never let us yield to passion. Never render ill for ill. So it was on the ill for ills, those L's, quite tricky. Ever let us live in kindness and obey our Saviour's will. I tell you, that's a lesson for me. You know, I was thinking, reflecting on the words as I was stitching it, and it's so true, you know. Don't be hot-headed, always stay calm. Never render ill for ill. You've got to forgive and move on. Otherwise, how can you be forgiven yourself? Never bear grudges. You know, I just love these little things to think about as you're stitching. And so we had this time this massive urn, which was so much fun to fill in. And oh dear, I was stitching on that when Wales were playing their first Six Nations match against England last Saturday. We got absolutely slaughtered. They just were embarrassingly bad. So I was filling in that and trying to stay calm. I couldn't bear to watch the match, to be honest. So I did these 2 birds, the 2 little beautiful little flower basket things, 2 birds here, all the 1/1 and those 2 flowers. There was a lot of work in that. So again, I can't take this on holiday. How I'm going to get, because this January homework, this big old block here, will be the homework. Sorry, I just did that. It's going to be repeated entirely over here. So I know it's at least 5 days. And some of those days I really stitched all day. I know it's 5 days, probably a week's work, and I'm going to be away. So I don't know whether I'll be able to keep up in March. I might have to start burning the midnight oil and go for a few late nighters on her. But apparently the homework's front loaded, so it should calm down, but I've heard that before. I think I might be getting a message saying, see me after class. Should try harder. But isn't it beautiful? So there we are, that's Maria, and she's a posh little girl. She's from Fitzrovia. Is it Fitzrovia or Belgravia no, my Sophie works in Fitzrovia. She's from Belgravia in London. And I did say to my girls, if they're ever passing that street, they should stop and take a picture of the house, because that's where the original would have been hung. Right, more chunky floral borders. Next, in my gorgeous bag from Sojo B, who lives in Chepstow in Wales, made from Sacre Bleu by French General. I've got the red version as well, beautifully lined. This is for our stitch along, which Rebecca Brigham is overseeing, and I must get better at posting actually. This is the stitch along for GH 1857, and so many of you are joining in. She's an absolute beauty, and I've had this book for years, and I'm so excited to be able to start on this sampler now and keep going. So we've spread the homework, I think, more realistically. This is over 24 months, so we should all have a chance to finish it. And this is the option that I'm picking with all the weeks. So these are the threads. Beautiful, beautiful blues and browns, very much like my Blackbirds for the birds. And this is the homework and how it's broken down. And because I'm a bottom right starter, I've done November and December's urn, January's thing, and now the next 3 months for me will be doing this big old house here. So let me just shove that back in there. The called for linen was wheat, but mine had a massive swathe of green on that I wasn't loving, so I changed mine to Swan Bay Fabrics Dark Sanditon. And so here we go. This was the homework, all of the border, and this massive, beautiful urn for 2 months. And January's homework was there, that flower urn. So now I need to do my February homework as soon as I've got some time. I need to go in and start on the brown house. I'm not sure if it's a mirror image. I don't think it is. But so the big brown house will be centerpiece there. Who was showing yesterday that they'd started it? They'd started this, but they'd done the little house as a pin pillow. Karen Combs. I watched her, and it's so pretty. I might have to go in and do the mattress pillow at the end. And she's done the mattress pillow years ago and is thinking, should she join in with the sampling? Yes, you should. You should. It's so beautiful. Look at the colours, quite different. And the yellow is chickpea. And I'm using all the weeks over dyed. And then there's one DMC or grey, a very swell, like a silver grey. I might just use DMC, to be honest, because I pulled it and it's like a baby blue, it is. Okay, that's a bit more chunky floral border. Next chunky floral border, this was my Whitco for January. So I haven't shown you this for a long time in a stunning bag, again by Val at Patchwork Paw Print. It's, look at that. Is it Tilda, this rose? I don't know, I bought this so long ago. It was before I was kind of knew all my fabric lines. Now this I showed on my very first Flosstube because I loved it so much I bought 2. I never do that, well, rarely. I bought 2 of these, and so I did, my very first giveaway was this one, the Dutch Rose Garden. This is by Samplers Not Forgotten. I just love everything she does. And look at that. So again, I was drawn to it because of the border. Sorry, Renee. And it's just stunning. So there's yellow roses and these dark navy blue. What are they? Are they peonies? I don't know. She doesn't say everything. This is what Kimberly Nugent from That's the lady that owns this company, Sampler's Not Forgotten. Dutch Rose Garden, 1849. This lovely sampler was stitched in 1849 by a 13-year-old Dutch girl. There are so many things I love about this. The borders, the motifs, the colours. What can I say except I love it. Stitched on 36 count weeks parchment. And she, yeah, again, it's not a fabulous chart. And am I stitching it on weeks parchment? I am, but I couldn't get the Swigart base. I'm using 40 count. I've got a trailing thread on the back of this because when I went, I obviously must have got caught short and had to have left it in the bag. So if you see a black thread trailing behind, I just pulled it through here. So here I am, again, a chunky floral border. Look at it. Isn't it fabulous? So I came across the top and did a yellow rose. I finished a lot more of these navy peonies, are they? And did this little bird here. So I've got this motif in the middle with the pavilion, loads of confetti stitching. And again, it's almost like you can't get one of these done in a month. They're so big, some of them. I think this was doable. This little floral display here was doable in 1 month. So I just need to keep chipping away at it. But this is for Whipco, so it's been called for the year now. I may never get back to pick this up. Isn't it beautiful? And I know a few of you are stitching on this and it is so pretty. But this is 40 count weeks parchment. But if I hold it up and show you, it's not on the Swigart base. You can literally, this is the one I say you can shoot peas. You can see the window through it. But actually, it's hard to get the tension not to pull. But you kind of get used to it. So I don't mind it. Within a couple of minutes, you know, you get the hang of it. And it does iron up beautifully. I think it looks lovely. So yeah, that's a bit of old week's parchment there. So that's Dutch Rose Garden. That was one of my whip goes. The next floral border, although I think is pushing it to say this is chunky because it really isn't. This is in a beautiful bag that I was gifted from at Swindon by Kathy Purden, Kathy Taz, on Instagram, who is lives in Tasmania, and she made these beautiful bags and gifted one to me and Britta. It's all lined, and this is the fabulous Fun Stitch by the Across the Pond group that have a stitch and meet and stitch group on Facebook. If you Google them, Across the Pond, and answer a few questions, you can join in. And they have fabulous stitches. Now this is stitch along broken down in 6 months. And so the second part was this bit in the middle here. So these are the gorgeous threads. Really, really pretty. And I've got a scissor fob and a little bee charm that somebody has gifted me, obviously along the way. So this is by Stacey Nash, the Bees and Birds Sewing Roll, Biscornu and scissor fob, and I'd love to do the whole set. I don't know if this time in the 6 months was they're built in to do all 3 bits, but I already had this chart, so I was giving one away, and at the end I'll tell you who won that one. So this is stitched on, this came as a beautiful kit kindly sent to me from Marie. Marie is the owner of Swan Bay Fabrics with her husband Gunter, and they have the most stunning linens. Now this one is medium Sanditon. I don't know if it's available to buy in her shop yet, but it is beautiful, and all the weeks threads that Stacey often uses just look amazing on this linen. Look at it. So I've cut this down ready to make into the sewn roll because I'll be doing it myself, so I don't worry about the border. I've measured it, and I think at the end you cut it down to 1 inch both sides, so I've left plenty. But this time we brought the border down and did this motif, which actually took quite a long time, but it was very appropriate for Valentine's. It's got a lovely heart and the 2 bees. So I took this in and did a bit of the border when I was with Dad in A&E. Isn't it pretty? I love Stacey Nash's sewing rolls and her borders. Remember when I did the cottage one down in Cowslip? Yeah, it's so pretty. So that is a fun stitch, and that's broken down to finish over 6 months. I hope I've left enough length on the fabric, because I'm not sure if I've done all that after 2 months. Oh, and these are 1/1. They were quite fiddly to do the little fill-in on the bobbins. So pretty. So that's a fun thing. I'm up to date with my homework. So I've done February, and now I don't have to worry about that. In terms of priority for homeworks, I've got GH 1857 to finish. Then I did manage to get in a Blackbird fabric bag made by Quilts and Project Bags at Lucy Wilcox. I don't even know if she makes bags anymore, but lovely Blackbird fabric here. And I did manage to finish part 3. I tell you, I thought, oh, it'll only take an hour. It did take a whole day or evening, a couple of evenings. I can't remember now. I stitched it a while ago because I picked this up over Christmas, and I really wanted to finish block 3. She Sights a Bird. I thought, oh, I've only got the cat and the bird and, you know, a bit of this to finish. There is so much stitching in this. I was surprised. These are the beautiful threads, very much like GH 1857. Lots and lots of beautiful blues and browns. With my lovely scissor, that's Emma, Jane Austen's Emma, a scissor fob from Socks for Mum. Yeah, I bought a few off her many years ago, and I see she did do a Flosstube over Christmas time, which was nice to see her because I'd forgotten what she looked like. And speaking of people that have come back to do Flosstube after a long break, oh, I'm not going to remember now. I tried to think. My friend, Stitchy Rach, hasn't filmed for a year and come back and now done 2. So go and have a look at Stitchy Rach. She's got some lovely projects. Crafting Kirsty, my friend that I go to the Malvern Quilt Show with, and we loosely had to stitch along for something. Crafting Kirsty is back with her knitting and her quilting and everything. I always love to see her projects because she works on these massive classic samplers. And who else? Morvant Makes, Beth. She came back after a year of not doing a Flosstube and did a whip parade, which was just amazing. I mean, the variety of projects. She's got samplers, she's got the Mirabilia Angels, she's got full coverage. I was in trance. But in terms of whip parades that I've seen this week, that I'm going to have to go back and see them a second time. They just blew me away. One was Laurie, textilist, who's a friend of Lisa Kindred Stitcher. Her whip parade just... Well, I started taking notes because she's got the original Lakeside. I think she's the first person I've seen with the original double-dyed Lakeside Autumn Gold, that the 7 sheep sampler by the Scarlet House calls for. She's got it in the flesh. And sometimes it's so useful to see those linens on the screen next to other linens, you know, so you know, like what Swan Bay fabrics or what Jodie Cedar River linens I can go up from my stash, you know, that these girls have so kindly sent me. I can see, well, what looks like autumn gold, you know? And yes, it's not going to be the double dyed. It's not going to look quite the same as the original Lakeside. They are like the gold, frankincense and myrrh of all linens, aren't they? But, you know, we can find things in our stash that look pretty good. And I found that fascinating to see Laurie's. I try to comment on all the Flosstubes as much as I can, you know, because I do watch them on my computer, so I can type a comment to say, like, amazing. Because I know how much time it takes to do like a whip parade of all your projects. I've never done one. I've done it for maybe the year, but it's a huge amount of work, and it just blew me away, her projects. I don't know how many she's got. She must have 100. And another jaw-dropping thing I saw this week was Lisa L Snaps. Now, I've told you before, I love watching her programs because she's got serious stash. I mean, she's got stash of years, but this time she did a kit parade. Oh, and Hobbies of Holly as well does an amazing kit parade. But L Snap's kit parade, I just thought, and a lot of them she showed, and I thought, oh my gosh, she feels bad about stashing. I have got things like My Sampler's Not Forgotten, all the kits of her hearts that she releases at market. I've got them all, and Lisa did push me into actually starting one. I'll share with you in a minute. Go and watch her kit parade. You will be amazed. Anyway, here we go. This is on 40 count, Picture This Plus Wren, which I think is the most called for linen out of the 9 charts. There's an oaken, there's a couple of wrens. So I decided to use wren for mine. And I'm using the border that was free. It's really simple. You can, if I show it closer, because I know someone asked me and I couldn't find it on the Blackbird website. But it's literally, look, 3 down by 2 down by, right, let me have a look. What is it? It's 3 down by 2 vertical by 5 down with a little hook in the middle. Does that make sense? So 2 by 5 by 2. And if you just do that, it sort of puts a divide, but you only really need it for the charts that don't have a border like this. I can see why she wanted to do it. Whereas these, you don't need it on the edge because you've got your gorgeous chunky floral borders. So this time I did the crazy cat and the bird on his back, the berries. There are specialty stitches. I say specialty, literally a lazy daisy and a couple of French knots. And I don't think there were specialty stitches in the block I just did. But the colours are gorgeous. So many different browns and blues. You can't tell. There's about 4 colours in the cat. You can't really tell. But overall, yeah, this was the specialty one with the lazy daisies and the French knots. Beautiful. But look at the colours on that. Oh, and that's my favourite, the first one with the berry bowl. So I need to keep, what I'd like to do, because it's on my whip go, so it will get called this year, but I'd like to sort of start block 4 just to get me going, so I do the awkward counting while it's in my mind, you know, because I can't remember now how many stitches I need to leave. I think it's just 3 between each of the rows. So that's that one. Then every month on the 21st, if I'm home and I'm not away or anything, I like to do you know, the people that do in the winter moon, so a seasonal stitch. So if you're doing the spring moon on the 21st of March, you could start the spring one. In the winter, on the 21st of December, you start your winter one. And every time the 21st comes around, you could do a little seasonal stitch like that. So this is the one on the 21st through the winter. I've been doing this one by Lila's Studio, Peace on Earth, which is the winter Quaker. And I invited my lovely new friend, Katie Ann Stitches, who's just done her Flosstube 2 a couple of weeks ago. Fabulous. And she was stitching at least the spring Quaker, if not the summer one as well. And I said, have you got the winter? Would you like to come along and keep me going, keep me motivated to do this? So it's with all the DMCs. And I did get round to stitching this. I didn't have the call for linen, but I used Cedar River Overcast for this, which I just thought perfectly matched the picture on the front cover. So this is on 40 count with all the DMC, and I did a little bit more stitching on the village. I mean, that's a whole day there. It doesn't look like much, does it? But look at it. It's starting to come together and it's so cute. So cute. it reminds me a little bit of that needle roll by Samplers Remembered with the little village on. I really need to find what I've done with that on Confederate Grey and get going. I love that sampler needle roll. So this is very similar, the little cottages in the snow, just gorgeous, and all the fun DMC colours. So I need to wrap that away now, because are we still going to be in winter on the 21st of February? I think we are. So maybe I might get a day, if I'm home, I might get another day on that then for the winter 21st stitching fun project. And then on the 25th, I try to do a Christmas stitch. I don't know when I started doing this, but this time I did this with, was Britta with me? Maybe she was. And we pulled our Smoky Santas out. Oh, that's right. Britta brought hers so we could compare our linens. Now I'm stitching mine on this stunning linen by Blackberry Primitives, Tonya. Mine is a 40 count fossil, and I just thought it would work perfectly for Smoky Santa because it's got a lot of like variegation that sort of looks a bit smoky. And I didn't have the, was it Mad Hatter? I've forgotten the call for, but you know, it was very black linen. I don't really like stitching on black that much. My little Annie B stockings are great on the Magical Grey. But I thought this worked perfectly. So there he is, Smoky Santa. I put a bit more of his face in and a lot more of the stars and a little bit of filling just to test whether it'll show, whether my DMC 310 stars show on the, is it Blackbird or Black Coffee, the filling? And it does. In person, it really, really does show. It's not showing on the camera, but I promise it is there. It does really pop. The stars do show. And I just put a little bit of the blue in on his jeans to see, you know, just for a bit of fun to see what it looked like. And I think it's going to look stunning. So there he is, Smoky Santa. This, I haven't got the chart for because I've only got the PDF. This is by Teresa Kogut, of course. Everybody knows about Smoky Santa. And I see Karen from Fox and Rabbit is stitching this with her friends. Liz, the Wandering Stitcher, they've got a stitch along going. I think they've broken it down into parts. I'll just stick to my 25th of the month, I think, because I kind of missed that. So I don't know. I think they might have started at the top because I saw Karen and Brendan, was it yesterday? And she just had the top done, I think. So I've kind of fallen by the wayside. And this is my bag for that from Glynis at the Stitchery, Nikki Franklin's mum, when I went on the retreat, and my Nancy's advent calendar. We had these gorgeous little zipper things. So that was my January one. I'm using my February heart one. I'll show you now. Here it is. So another little bit of stitching I managed to do since I saw you last was that was what Nancy had for February, and I can't wait to pull the shamrock out for March because I think I'd like to do my first Irish stitch. I don't have anything for St. Patrick's Day, and now I know I've got Irish blood in me. Not much, I think it's 5%, but I do have a bit of Irish blood somewhere in me. So I feel like that it's not a sham, you know, I shouldn't say that, shamrock, you know, your mind thinks like that, doesn't it? It wouldn't be a fraud to have St. Patrick's Day up. Anyway, in this gorgeous bag that I was gifted from Kimmy, gave me this, Kim, the storer, a very good friend of Rika's at House of Stitch and Stash, and she gifted me this when we went to Kentucky. Look at it, Tilda. Rika made this, stunning. And how generous was that? Because I think Kim's got lots of Rika's back because they're like best stitchy friends. So in here, I'm holding this. Now, when I'd seen Lisa from Elle Snaps show her stash, I forgot to bring all my stash with them. I'll show you those again, but I do have quite a few now, quite an amazing collection of these Kimberly Nugent Samplers Not Forgotten hearts, and they come as a kit. So they come with the finishing fabric, the ribbon, the rip-wrap, the little tiny little key, and the weeks. Again, something else I'm stitching on old weeks. Oh yeah, I'm going to show you that. So this is the little start I got. I think that was 2 evenings, so it's going to be a quick stitch. It's 36 count weeks beige. I absolutely love the colour. I love Confederate grey. I love tin roof. So tin roof's the darkest and the greenest, then Confederate grey is the perfect colour, and then beige is the paler, less grey, more beige. Weeks beige, just perfect. And a lot of her kits come with weeks beige, although it is on the old base. And the colours, you just get the threads cut. I've got a lovely picture in at the end. You just get enough to do the stitch, and the that's what it's going to look like. And I'm pretty sure Lisa, Kindred Stitcher, has done this. If not, she's done one of the other ones that I've got the kit for. A pink floral heart, I think it might have been. And just for fun, oh, I'll remember to share that with you at the end. Just for fun, I wanted to show you something else that was on my shortlist for doing, and I'm going to be definitely stitching this weekend. This is my plans now. So my cross stitch plan is to definitely continue with my Valentine heart and try and get that finished over the weekend. So I've got it ready for the 14th, which won't happen because it's tomorrow. Phil's taking me out for Valentine's, but we're going for Saturday lunch instead of Friday night at the Ivy, which is tomorrow, isn't it? Because I'm out tonight at the theatre. I'm going to see Jodie Comer. Have you seen Killing Eve? I don't know what she's going to be doing on the stage as I think it's a one-man stand-up show. So I'm not sure, but I've only ever seen her in Killing Eve and a couple of Mad films. So it'll be interesting. I'm going with just my old friends from school, all the girls, and we're going to see Jodie Comer tonight. So I didn't want to go out tomorrow night as well. So I'm going to have our Valentine's on Saturday. Saturday lunchtime at Heiny's in Cardiff, which is lovely. But I did see this. I've always loved this ever since Celeste from Celeste Creates shows it on her opening video of her Flosstube. She stitched this, and I think it is, everything in this book is quite Valentine's-y, isn't it? Ooh La La by Blackbird Designs. It's a gorgeous book. I'd like to stitch everything in it. That is the one thing. Last Rose of Summer. I think the chart's on there, so I need to be careful. And this is how it looks. So it's sort of on one of those boxes that looks like a book, which means you could also do it on a book, which would be kind of fun, wouldn't it? And there's one other thing in here I absolutely love. Let's see if I can find it. It's, oh yeah, it's, I won't be able to find it now because I didn't put a sticker on it. It's Le Poulet, here we go. Le Poulet with the checkerboard, and I know our Carol Saltbox has done this. I'm pretty sure over the years she showed this. It's just such a pretty stitch. I love the coloured things. It's very quilty, Laurie Holty to me, although obviously it's Blackbird. So I've never stitched anything from this book, which is unusual because I normally try to, when I get a book, at least stitch one of the things straight away, but I haven't, so I need to get on that. Some other things I thought would be really fun for Valentine's would be my red work pairs by Annie Bees that I've had for a long time. I bought this at the attic because I saw them finished on 46 count. I'm pretty sure Jean had done them, and I copied the silk that she used because I bought a big Gloriana somewhere, I don't know where it is, but I have got a big stitch. Oh, I ran out of time to try and find my another must stitch for Valentine's. When I went to Needlework Press this time last year, Vicky Jeanette invited me, Britta, and lots of other stitchy ladies after the Sampler Symposium to visit her workshop, and we went into her front door of her house, and right there at the bottom of the stairs is the most gorgeous pillow called A Token of Love by Pinebury Lane. It is beautiful. I've had the chart for years and years and years, and I've never stitched it. And I tried to look for it earlier, couldn't find it. That is a must stitch for Valentine's that I would like to do. It's also at the attic and always has been in their window every time I've been. This is another cute one for Valentine's Day that my friend Rika from House of Stitch and Stash had gifted me this. It's one of her designs. That's how it began with us. You held out your hands and I took it. She's such an old romantic. These are another few that I've got for Valentine's. JBW, Rose Motif Sampler. I've had this for a long time. And another one by JBW. Judy Whitman, the sweetest lady. Love her floss tubes. You learn so much about how to finish your smalls by watching Judy. Floral Alphabet. Isn't that beautiful? And I've done the antique rooster and it is nearly always up. When I was rummaging in the drawer for these old ones, I couldn't believe it. I came across these that I'd almost forgotten about. You know how much I love Shepherd's Bush. Look how old these are. This is a really cute little one. They used to sell this in Bristol in my local shop in Clifton. I can't remember the name of the shop. It's gone. Anyway, I paid £1.80 for that. So that's how old it is. 1990 this is from. Isn't it beautiful? Can you see? It says Mulberry and it's got got some cut work, pull work. And it was designed by Tina Richards Herman in 1990. And then this one, I think is 1992. Yeah, designed by Tina Richards Herman in 1992. Look at this. I wish I'd sort of found this last year when I was doing my herbarium, because this has got yarrow and lavender, borage, yarrow, tansy, hyssop and feverfew. Really old-fashioned English plants for teas and medicines. And, you know, good luck. Yeah, the herb garden. So those are some old things that I found down in my little small chart collection that I've got, which include a couple of the really cute Judy Whitman things. And this is one other one that I came across that is really old. I don't even know how to say her name, Diane, but I've got a feeling it's the Told in the Garden. This is Kitty's Helper. Look how cute these are. The Holly Hobbies. One day, if I ever had a granddaughter, look at her basket there. Oh my goodness, love those charts. So those were just a couple of little things knocking about. Of course, the one I wanted to show you, which was the Token of Love by Pineberry Lane, I couldn't find. But yeah, there's some ideas there for Valentine's stitching. And then in terms of rest of plans, apart from Valentine's, I also, because I just loved this so much, and every time I pull it out of my basket to put up for February, I think, oh, look at that. I put my January away, bring this one down, and I think I need more. I need the whole series. So yeah, I think I've got 8 now. 2 of them are borrowed from Lally B, and the next one I've got is March. So this is the wordplay for March, and I love finishing them like Brenda did with all the old bells on the bottom. So out like a lion, in like a lion, out like a lamb. Let's hope that's going to be the case. Shamrocks, snow melts, robins arrive. Well, we have robins all year round in our garden, and crocus bloom, but I guess these are American, aren't they? Because they're Brenda Jabet. So yeah, our robins are here all, we have them on our Christmas cards, you know. So yeah, so I got the linen cut. What have I got? I've got 40 count picture this plus vellum. They're all cut, ready to go. So yeah, I'm excited to start that. Obviously, I've got homework up to my eyeballs with Naughty Maria. And one other thing I should do, I'm not in the mood for autumn stitching right now. This is my homework for the other number for January for Whitgo was Plum Street, Grace Doth Abound. So maybe I can pull that out. Oh, it's so pretty when you see it there. And I think I got, let me just have a look. I didn't iron this because I wasn't going to sort of bore you with what I didn't get. Oh, I've done loads. Oh, it's badly creased. Oh man, I need to get that crease out and fold it in a different way. But look how the blues bring it, sort of raise it, give it a lovely pop of colour. The Serpent's blue, the Quilt Stars blue. No, it's black. It's black. Looks blue here, doesn't it? It's actually black. Oh, I love that grey stuff bound. I need to get back to this. Surely I could go for a finish on that this year. How's my white stitching on the house? Because white stitching definitely year by year gets better and more perfect. It's not bad. It's not bad. Oh my goodness, have you seen the new Plum Street one? Written on My Heart. I'm gonna have to get that. Love it. Because obviously I can't get all the Plum Streets because some of them are very USA 250th year. You know, patriotic, absolutely red, white and blue because it looks great because it's our British flag colours too. But if it's specifically 250 years, that to me, that is not something I'd really stitch. So summer Paulettes I saw were very much just about the 250th year for America's celebrations. So I'm not sure I could do those. But if it was just patriotic, then I could do that because our colours are the same. But yeah, I can't wait to. I started off saying, oh, there's nothing I need at market. And I found myself dropping an email, was it last week, to Peakside to say, whatever Brenda Jabet is doing, I've seen her 7 snapshots, little hints of what's coming. And one's got a cherry, one's a red, white on red work, one's patriotic, one's a heart. They're just all stunning. One looks a bit like the Maker and the Mender. I mean, have I done that? No, I've got all the charts, haven't done half of them. I haven't done a 10th of them. But I wrote to Sue at Peakside and said, all the Brendas, please, if she can get them at market, that would be great. So that's all my stitching and all my plans for cross stitching. How are we doing? Oh dear. Right, then my embroidery. So, you know, we had a new theme now. We've got our new subscription for the year. Look, it came in this beautiful powder pink envelope. Refreshing Blends embroidery projects for 2026. So this is called For the Love of Tea. I think it's called Time for Tea. Yeah. Time for Tea is the new subscription. And I know so many of you are going to be joining in and stitching along with this. Tea arrived in England in the mid-17th century. And by the Victorian era, it was firmly established as a national habit, shaping social customs such as afternoon tea and becoming a symbol of domestic comfort and British identity. I haven't watched Bridgerton yet, the new series, but this is very Bridgerton, isn't it? And I noticed in Liberty of London, they've got this incredible Bridgerton display, all inspired by the new fabrics that I saw. Kimberly at Fat Quarter Shop showed the Fat Quarter bundle of it. And Liberty have got pyjamas, cushions with frills around. They've got notebooks, jigsaws, tea. I mean, honestly, this series is inspired by the different blends and rituals of tea in the UK, with a nod to the special vessels that we choose and the sweet treats to accompany our afternoon cuppers. So this is how it came. And the first one was called For a Good Night's Sleep. So it's based on valerian and chamomile and lavender. So those are the gorgeous colours. Valerian being the bright pink, the lavender with the purple, and the chamomile with this gorgeous golden yellow, and the just really pretty to have that in January. And after all the Christmas stitching, to switch to pink and purple, it was just such a lovely pop of colour. Isn't it beautiful? So that is what it looked like. This is what Nikki said. This is the design that set off the Time for Tea subscription in my head. an innocent cup of sleepy tea one evening, and I began to imagine how prettily the flowers would sit together in an embroidery. Valerian, with its beautiful deep pink, grows in abundance around our little cottage and is well known to soothe the nerves and ease anxiety. Chamomile is also good for calming nerves as well as settling irritable tummies. Lavender, of course, promotes relaxation and deep sleep, amongst other things. All in all, a very nice relaxing blend with which to start the year. So I finished mine and I opted to go for the kit where I do get the old vintage linen. I know she was encouraging us to go for just the PDF, but I found a kit a lot easier, and it came with a caddy paper postcard, so that might be an option for the finishing. And is this the bonter web that I just squashed? You would iron this onto the back of your stitch. The glue becomes tacky, and that's how you bond to web it onto the caddy postcard. I've shown you my finishes in books before using that method, and it's just really, really easy and fun. Sorry for all the horrible crinkling that was. So here we go. This is what it looks like. Quite a lot of stitching. Took me a few days. And this year, sadly, I'm not doing the Stitchery Sisters cross-stitch label to go with it. They're beautiful. Britta's done it. I saw it when I was there this week. Sarah, the Stitchery Sisters, is doing little tea bags to accompany this. But I found last year the labels were taking me 3 to 4 days, and I really, really have got too much homework with my big girl stitch along, so I can't do everything. So I decided to divide and conquer. I'm going to stick with the embroidery and live vicariously through Britta with the tea bags. So you started off doing these French knots, 3 strands of French knots for all the valerian, and then the padded satin stitch for the chamomile, which looked like big daisies. And it was so much fun to do these 3 threads of just straight stitch piled in to do the leaves. I love doing those. Then those fabulous bullion knots for the lavender, so much fun. And then what seemed to take forever were these tiny little things of the pale lavender, the little 5-star daisy, just a suggestion, French lazy daisies in the green, just scattered here and there to sort of fill in the gaps really. And then long and short stitch on the teacup in ecru, and a little bit of tea, leftover cold tea painted to make it look like there's something in the cup. Can't really see it here. And the slightest hint of Payne's Grey, really diluted under the saucer to make it look like a slight shadow. You can see it in person. Less is more with that. Obviously, you don't want a big lump of grey paint, but it just gives it the hint of a shadow under the saucer and made it come to life. It's so pretty, and I love the colours for this time of the year. It just makes you feel so optimistic. Spring is on its way, and the bulbs are coming through, and it's so exciting. So that is the embroidery. In terms of plans for embroidery, I hope Harriet isn't watching. I know my kids don't watch this, but I really would love to make this for her and Cameron when they get married now in July. I'm running out of time, guys. I need to do this. It's called the White Garden Embroidery Kit. I know Nikki did this for one of her retreats, and it is stunning. They made it into a long needle roll, and I think they had the fabric and everything to make the roll at that retreat. But I thought, wouldn't it look amazing on a little pouch bag? You know, some brides have a little bag that they can like carry a lipstick or not the ring. What else do you need? A tissue, I guess, or something. And I don't know, I'm not that creative or brave, but I've seen you can buy these kind of like silky satin little pouch bags. And if I could somehow get this sort of applique onto the front or just stitched onto the front. Or maybe I just make a heart and give it to her to, I don't know, keep as a memento, isn't it? Make it into a cushion and keep it as a memento on the dressing table. So pretty. I just love everything that is one colour and it's all about the texture. So it's just all different shades of white. It's so beautiful. I mean, it's perfect for a bride. And I've been sitting on this for months. I bought it with the intention to start all the whites. Look at that colour. Love that. So all DMC. I mean, so beautiful. And I've got the old linen in there. Oh, look how beautiful it is. It's a really fabulous bit of old linen. Right, that's it. I'm going to get started on that. I probably need to interface the back of that if I'm going to try and make something with it. Although I don't normally interface because it's very thick normally, that vintage linen. Right, that's my embroidery done. Now I've got quite a lot of quilting to show you. It's been so exciting doing all the quilting. Now, when I finished my last Flosstube, I was waiting for something to arrive. I can't remember. And while I was waiting, strangely, I picked up my Christmas blocks and thought, I've really had an urge to stitch on them. So even though it was January and Christmas was long gone, I did manage to actually finish all of these blocks from I put a picture in at the end of what this is called. It's called Pixieville. I keep saying it's Pixie Noel. It's not. The designer is Tasha Noel, not Tasha Disney. I don't know where I got that from. So it's Pixieville Row by Tasha Noel. I think it's a Moda. It could be Riley Blake. Comes in a beautiful box kit. Bought it from Fat Quarter Shop years ago, and the fabrics are stunning. And it was quite fiddly. And do you remember Christmas in July? I did the fussy cut rows. I've really enjoyed that. The little elves lying in the snow like this, and really enjoyed it. So I thought, while I've got a couple of days quiet and nothing else to do, I'll learn how to tackle these houses. So what you do is all these little half square triangles you make to make the scallop roof. And then, so all of these are rows like this, and then you literally put these triangles on the corner and sew over, and so you waste a lot of the pieced blocks. Imagine it's red right to the ends of my fingers, and then you place these little pieces over the top and then cut the corners off afterwards. Did I make a mistake once or twice? I did. I put them on upside down. I didn't know what I was doing. But then I got into the swing of it and I thought, I can't put this away. I need to do them all. So I'll just quickly show you because I can't remember how many I did. This one, look at the fabrics. Aren't they stunning? That's one with a bit of fussy cutting. Look at them singing the carols. I mean, they're so cute. And look at this stripy fabric. So that's 2 of those, 3 of those, beautiful fabric, mint green. I can't wait to have this quilt done for Christmas. I just think it'd be so much fun. So there's 4 of these big tall houses. And then I think there might be 4 of these ones. So these are the small houses. So these were, I thought would be easier, but then you've got the chimney. So you had to build this, little sort of rectangle thing and then make the triangle and then put these half square triangles, the flip and turn method, onto the corners. So actually it was still very fiddly, even doing the small ones. So that's 1, 2, 3. So cute. I think I got so carried away with the fussy cut and I literally was putting little things everywhere that I could. I didn't want to waste any. Just so cute. 3. And so 2 chimneys are on the left and 2 are on the right, depending on where these go in the quilt. So now I've done all my star blocks. 2 years ago, no, last year and the year before. I did my fussy cut rows, the thin long rows that are used as like sashing in Christmas in July, this summer in July. And then I've done these winter 2025, January 26. So it's coming together slowly but surely. And I can't wait. So I'll put that away now and maybe get back to my Bunny Hill summer garden quilt, you know, at some point in the summer. But what I've been obsessed with was, well, what I've been obsessed with, first of all, I'll show you my next homework. Now, this is very loosely a quilt along that I'm doing, you know, with my friends, Lisa, Primson Greenway, Becky, Willow and Hair Stitching, and of course, Barry from Stitch Folk. And there's lots of you joining in. I know Michael Davis Quilting is doing it, and we're all using different methods. So it'll be fascinating to see how it all comes together. And we said that it would be really nice to do one block every 2 months. So there's 9 blocks over the 18 months. We'll try and get the quilt finished. And yes, so I've just done, I'm ahead now because I've just done my block 2. So I think I'm up to date for February, and then I got March and April to do the block 3. So this is what it looked like. This time it was deep into that darkness peering, and it's got that rather magnificent yellow, orange, what do they call it? Cheddar fabric, pumpkin, charcoal and cheddar, and the fabulous pops of purple berries. And of course you've got to have purple because it's in the poem by Edgar Allan Poe's poem, The Raven. It mentions the colour purple a couple of times. So I think you've got to keep the purple, to be honest, because it is a colour, you do think, I'm not sure. So now I've done this block, and now I've done all the pieces for this block, and I've glued it down. I've Suzanne glued it down, and I've started the applique. Wow, these are just beautiful. Lot of bias binding on it this time, bias stems, which are quite fiddly. Stitching them down, I need to really try and make them look as curved as possible. I've stitched the big bird, I've stitched the stars, and I've stitched the massive pumpkin. And now I need to put down some of the bias tape. I've done that bit, and I think I did, oh yeah, no, I haven't done those. I haven't done the purple circles, but I've done these berries. And look how I've nailed the shape. Can you see how perfect the circles are? And it's not me. It's because I actually, this time, isn't that stunning though? Look at that block, 20.5 inch. It's going to be. Well, it is. It's cut to size, so that's why you just have to be so delicate because there's no room for fray in here. Not like Laurie Holt, who goes bigger with the backgrounds and you trim down. This is 20.5 and that's that. So hopefully any shrinkage will be the same across all the blocks so they'll fit together. It's just stunning. It's so much fun to do this as well. But I brought this because I just wanted you to see how cheap and easy the spray starch method is. This is something I just put in my Sainsbury's basket when I'm in Sainsbury's. It smells fabulous. It's just by Dylon. So there's no fancy materials with this. You just spray it into a little glass jam jar, wait for the foam to settle, and just dip your brush in it and paint it around the shapes that you've drawn out of freezer paper. You know, you folded your material 1/4 inch around the back. It's so easy. But what I did bring to show you was the Karen K. Buckley Perfect Circles. I bought these at Malvern last year, and they're an absolute game changer for doing tiny circles, because I was struggling trying to turn the fabric over the little, say that's your circle, and they're smaller on there, on the Blackbird design, but say that's the circle. I was trying to fold the material over and iron it over and you're always going to get a square edge that way. What you do is you do a little running stitch around the shape. So you cut the material 1/4 inch bigger, just go onto YouTube and look up Karen K. Buckley's Perfect Circles. She shows the most amazing little 5-minute tutorial. You take a running stitch around the edge, you pull it around the shape, you get your iron and you paint your starch over the seam, over all the crinkles on the back. And when you take this out, the starch holds the fabric like magic into place, and then you can release your thread that you've been holding on to. And that's how you make perfect penny circles. And it just made it so much more fun. They really do look round. They're true pennies, aren't they? Quite amazing. So it's a bit of a game changer to read the instructions when you buy things like this, rather than just doing your own method. You know, you should really check out just check out YouTube and see if there is something on how to use the equipment, and then it all falls into place. Then the next thing, so then the next bit of quilting, this has been so much fun. Now remember I told you I had I'd ordered the Farm Girl vintage sew along. Well, that came, but it took a while to arrive from Fat Quarter Shop. They've started this now in February, and I haven't done a thing except open the kit and really enjoy looking through it. The fabric, the kit, everything is fabulous. So I bought that myself from Fat Quarter Shop. Because you know I'm taking part in the vice versa quilt as well. Well, I haven't had any progress on that since I've seen you last, because so this is a really fun project if you want to order that and sew along with Fat Quarter Shop. But then also Laurie started this Farm Fresh quilt along on her blog, and Fat Quarter Shop are stitching along with her. And I had the vintage books already. So vintage books 1 and 2. I think I've got all Laurie's books. They're all so fabulous. And I just couldn't resist, because I've been watching Jill from Count On Linens. And you know I've got some linens from Jill. And I just missed her at the Jane Austen house in Chawton when she came over last year. It was a shame. But her and her sister Kimmy are amazing quilters. And of course, they sell a lot of the Laurie Holt products in their gorgeous shop, which is Count On Linens online. They sell cross-stitch linen to stitch on, and they also sell a lot of project bag kits using all the Laurie Holt things. And when I was watching Jill's Flosstube, she said, oh, I've got one more kit left in stock. And she said, and if someone would like to buy the last one, I'll throw in a couple of little extras. Well, that was it. I've been resisting for so long, and I thought, well, I'm just going to get it. So now I've ordered the Farmer's Daughter kit from Jill, and it came in this beautiful box like this. And I put a photo on my Instagram of what was inside. She did send a few extras. I couldn't believe it. She sent me one of her precious project bag kits that she sells on her website with the Laurie double zippers, all of the beautiful Farm Girl, Farm Life fabrics, the interfacing. I mean, I'm not that confident to make the project bag myself. I think she uses the Elizabeth Ankin stitch tutorial. So I need to go and have a look and remind myself how to make one. She threw in the Happy Charm look, which is the brand new one for the Farmer's Daughter collection with the strawberries. I love Laurie's things so much. She gave me some rickrack to put along the project bag in the gorgeous, I think it's called Jazzberry, because I've got that for the Quilted Farm Girl kit, and the vintage trim. So, and also a binder to keep, although it's US, it only fits US paper, which is wider than our British paper. So, or the other way round. I'm going to struggle to get my things to fit in there, but I will, it's beautiful. So we started the quilt along together. We're not going to be able to keep up with Laurie, because I think it's 5 blocks a week, which for us is just not achievable with our busy lives. And so what we said, we'd treat it a bit like the vintage Christmas sew along last year, where it was 5 blocks a month. So Kimmy, Jill And well, they're ahead of me. I started off the fastest, but they're already ahead. I've kept my binding because you know Jill is the one that says you've got to do your binding. You should make it before you start the quilt so that you're more incentivized to finish the quilt at the end. So I've kept that. Look at the gorgeous fabric. The fabrics are just so pretty. And what happens is you use your old Farm Girl Vintage quilt for the instructions on how to make the blocks, but it also comes with this absolutely gorgeous book and with the new colorway, so it tells you exactly. So I'll show you, for example, the chicken block. You use the instructions in the Farm Girl Vintage book, but Laurie provides you this with the kit, the new colorways, and it's so easy to recognize your fabrics. So that's how you know what the fabulous Farm Girl fabrics is. What's it called? Farm Girl? Farmer's Daughter is the fabric range, and the quilt is called the Farm Fresh quilt because it's a fresh take on Farm Girl Vintage. So I've done the first block, which is the chick. Look at the fabrics, aren't they beautiful? And I've done the second block, which is the mixing bowl. And so I've got, so they're going in order through the Farm Girl Vintage 1 book for the first 5, and then the next 5 are from the second book. So I've got that one to make next, which is the butter churn. So I've done baking day. I've got butter churn is cut and ready to go. And it's so funny because Kimmy's canning season block is in timeout right now. And Jill has done amazing. She's done all 5 of the blocks. So this one's cut as well. Each of the background is different. Each of the backgrounds are absolutely beautiful. They've either got the little chicken footprints or the chicken wire or tiny ditzy prints. Honestly, Laurie's fabrics. I can't tell you how much fun they are. Please come and join us on we're breaking it down over the year. So we're going to go for the big finish in February next year because we're taking July off because Jill's got a family wedding as well. I don't know if it's her daughter or her son, but Harriet's getting married, as you know, in July, so we won't be sewing along then. So we're going to do 5 blocks in Feb and then the second 5 in March. Heaven knows how I'm going to fit it in, but we're going to see how we go and just enjoy the process. But it's been so much fun, and it's lovely to see Fat Quarter Shop doing all their posts and everything and keeping up with what it's all going to look like. So that's my quilting and my quilting plans. What's next? Right, next I've got some haul and happy mail. So first of all, I wanted to show you, I think I might have shown you this before, but if I have, I haven't put it away. So I'm in the Swan Bay Fabrics, Fabric of the Month Club with Marie this year, and it's going to be bi-monthly. So I picked 40 count, and this was the stunning first fabric for, I think it started December. So this arrived in January, and that's my December, a beautiful neutral, bit more pinky perhaps and less brown than Sanditon, but a beautiful colour like that that's just super useful. So that's great. That's Swan Bay Fabrics. Then I did get a few more little things for Valentine's Day. I couldn't resist the Sweetheart Pears by Annie B. I saw Nicola from Numbers 12 Stitch Co in Australia, and she had used her finish. I've ordered some things from her, and I've never shopped with her before, but Britta's going out to Australia for a month, and she has placed a big order with Nicola, so I kind of tagged along with that. And I'm copying Nicola because she used these country cottage garden threads. She used Storm as the grey on her pink linens, so I've ordered the same pink linen that she used, hopefully. And although I think she sold out pretty quickly. She hand dyed some pink ones for the Valentine Pears. I also ordered this cushion, 100 Hearts, from Samplers Not Forgotten. I just thought that was really, really pretty on the pale grey. And I wanted some more pink because, and this was another one inspired by Nicola at number 12. She stitched this on a beautiful This one's on Oaken. I can't remember. This might be an Aztec red, but she was dyeing a fabric up to stitch this Blackbird heart. So I bought myself this chart, My Dear Hearts. I'd love to stitch that on the white hearts popping on the Oaken. I think it's stunning. But also this is a wonderful one to have in the bowl. So I'll see what pinks I get from Nicola and share those with you when they arrive. It'll be too late for this year, but that's absolutely fine, isn't it? And by the time Brenda gets back, I can stitch them for next year. One other thing I did buy was, Crafting Kirsty, my friend, saw this, and you know, she has a farm, her husband's a farmer. She went crazy over this cow, and I saw Vicky and Tanya, Vicky Needlework Press and Tanya from Scarlett's House, had a photo to get together with this. I'm not sure what the link is with Scarlett's House, because I think this is very much Needleworks Press. But this is a good old English sampler, Esther Hawksworth, 1848. And I just thought this was so much fun. So we've got no plans on starting this. It's stitched on Fox and Rabbit 40 count paper bark. I think I might have that. And it's using the classic Colourworks over dyed threads. Just thought that was lovely. So Kirsty, if you're going to start it, don't tell me, because I haven't got time. No, we should start this together because of the crazy Frisian cow on there. Phil said, that cow's got a very small head and a very long neck. I don't think he thought much of it, to be honest. But I love it. And then I had some Happy Mail. Oh no, first of all, I did buy, I don't know if I should share this with you. How are we doing? Oh, 1 hour 50. Okay. Do you remember last year? I should have brought it with me and I haven't. I did a little shop with Suzanne Curtis, and she is a textile artist who lives in Nottingham, and she runs workshops now. She has opened her own like crafting workshop on a gorgeous, it looks like old farm buildings up in Nottingham, and she runs courses, and you can sign up and go on the most incredible things. Well, of course, Britta and some of her girlfriends were going, and they were like, come, and I was like, I can't. Nottingham's too far away, and I can't do anything at short notice. So I didn't go, but I missed out. And I was trawling on her website thinking, oh, I would have loved to have gone to learn how to make these mushrooms. So I ended up doing another shop online. This is one of the things I bought there. Now, last year I bought a strawberry with a key on it for Valentine's, and I was inspired to get that, to have an idea of how my strawberries from Mary Jo should look. And so she does make strawberries with keys on her website, which are stunning and such good value. I mean, she is a textile artist, and I think they're amazing value. So this is one of the things that I treated myself to. Suzanne Curtis, textile art. Everything she does is exquisite. So it's a proper needlework book. And these are my threads for my Valentine hearts, just popped in the middle here, the ones I've started to use. But look at all the media. She's used these, like, it's got beads, it's got sequins, it's got metallic gold thread, it's got lace, it's got broderie anglaise, a silk ribbon, and that's without the mushroom. All these different wools that look like moss. I just think they're beautiful. And one of the workshops she does is teaching you how to make those mushrooms exactly for yourself. How to make the cardboard top and cover them. How to make the wire base and bend them and paint them. These girls are so talented. So that's one of the things I bought. And then I kind of got carried away. I found this beautiful little pewter mug that she was selling, Fairy Tales, again with the same type of wools with a little pop of colour here and there. Some of them look like moss on a green calico sort of base. And this little, I can't remember does she call them Elga type of mushroom? I don't know, I need to do my revision on different types of mushrooms. So this was something else that I bought, and look how tiny and delicate it is, and it's just beautiful. It sits on my mantelpiece in the lounge and I can't stop looking at it. So I must be careful now not to knock all these over. That goes with my Valentine stitching. This is another little antique. This is a French dariole, like a little baking patisserie tin. And there's another one. Look at the wools and the silks and the grass, and another one of these special mushroom finishes that you can now learn how to make your own in her workshops. And you should have seen what they made. They made them and they looked exactly like this. I so want to go on the workshop. This one, I mean, this is my favourite of the 5 pieces I bought in the first batch, and I'm waiting for my second order to come. So what I did was I stuck with the same theme, that all the mushrooms have got the white beading on. This, because I'm going to be converting Topsy's bedroom into sort of like a craft room, in that I'm having a load of wardrobes fitted so I can have my linen stored better and my quilt kits. I thought I need a few display pieces, so I did treat myself to this. Isn't it just stunning? This is in an old French baking tin, and then she puts, I don't know what you call this wire, she makes it into a cage and then puts the little, and all the drops are different and some of them are old. I mean, I squealed when I opened the box because it just was beyond my expectations. I think it's a website that, don't get me wrong, the website looks amazing and she's carefully measured everything against a ruler so you know what you're getting. But she under-promised and over-delivered. And so many times in life you order something and you get excited and it arrives and you might be slightly underwhelmed. With Suzanne Curtis's things, every time it's just so exquisite, it blew me away. So this is on my mantelpiece above the fire. Those are my 3 like metal old things used. The stitching book, and this is the last one, probably my favourite. So these are in old vintage jewellery boxes. And these by themselves, if you hunt them down on eBay, sometimes these go for £50 a piece. And she's used them to make a little piece. I mean, look at this. It's just exquisite. So this is going to be in pride of place in my craft room. And I have placed another order. And this time my theme is going to be other colours, not the red with the white beads. Maybe different. And see what I can get. Anyway, that is her shop. Please book yourself on her workshops because it's a brand new thing. Her new premises, she's got to pay rent on those now, so it's very different to having a business at home. This is something she needs to fill the workshops with creative people, and you can learn how to make things like this. So start collecting your old jewelry boxes, or just fish out the ones you've got and take the things out, and then you can go on the courses and learn how to make them. Isn't that just beautiful? I just love that. And one of the courses is how to make a bride dress, a replica bride dress out of, say, your veil or your bride material in one of these longer necklace jewelry. Just stunning. So that was my purchase. So not so much stitching, but just fascinating. And then I did get some happy mail. So first of all, I couldn't believe it when Mary Jo Heiny and Claire wrote to me and said, please can we send you something off our website, one of the kits? And I said, absolutely. I love your strawberries so much. Please send me any other one of the other kits that I haven't bought already myself. So they sent me, this is the new one. And this time there's no greens, it's all pinks, very Valentine's, aren't they? They're called velvet ornaments. No, it's got a colour, lovely velvet strawberry. So that's the new colourway, absolutely fabulous. And if I show you all the different parts to it, it's just going to be stunning. So I kind of need to get a move on with these. Whether it'll be for this Valentine's, it's unlikely, but I'm going to finish the 2 out of the 5, and then next year I can do the next 5, can't I? And me and Britta is something that we love to do together now. And so, oh, and by the way, right now until the end of February, if you use the code Periwinkle, then you can get a discount, I think it's 15% off Mary Jo Heiny's kits. So it's off everything that's sort of kits like this, not the original antiques that she sells for many hundreds of pounds, not those, the special editions, but for these kits, or for the shamrocks, or for the Lucky Clover velvet, which is stunning. I'm tempted to get one myself, or the acorns, anything like that, and all the strawberries, you can get 15% off using Periwinkle until the end of the 28th of Feb. So please go and have a look. Her website is just stunning. That's that. The other happy mail I got, I couldn't believe it. I've told you before about Trudy, haven't I? Trudy's True Treasures on Flosstube, because I love her Flosstube. She has done Laurie's Farm Girl Vintage original quilt, and it was behind her on her last Flosstube, which I really enjoyed. And she's finished A Shepherd's Song by Plum Street, so I'm really motivated to try and get mine back out and finish it. She sent me this project bag. If you're not following Trudy, you're missing a trick, because she makes these herself. She doesn't sell them, but she makes them, and she gives them as giveaways on her channel. I mean, how talented. Look at this Kathy Holden fabric. Just fabulous. I'm finished with one of Hands Across the Sea, Nicola Parkman's stitchy panels that you can buy. And this looks very much to me like French General fabric on the top. They are beautifully lined, just stunning, with like a vintage homespun. And look at the True Treasures. So Trudy, True Treasures. There's Mary's card, Mary Jo Heiny Designs. There's Jill's card, Count on Linens for the Laurie Holt fabric and kits and linen. There's Suzanne Curtis's card for the textile artist, how to go on her fairy tale workshops. And here is Trudy's Treasures, True Treasures from Trudy. Her Flosstube is a delight. So that was my happy mail. Thank you so much, Trudy, for sharing that with me. I will treasure it and put a special red stitch into that. I can't wait. And then some more happy mail that you know I get every month for the moment. The first one came from Fat Quarter Shop. They are sending me some of the products that they've got available in their shop right now for sale. So the first thing with the triangles on a roll, and this was the braid paper, so they sent me the 9-inch and the 5-inch, and these are amazing for using jelly rolls and making the braid quilts. I've got a few patterns actually in books over the years. I've always been afraid to use the triangle ruler, so maybe this is a great way to use your jelly rolls from Fat Quarter Shop. And I also got this fabulous tea rose. Look, that's the colour, because tea rose is Laurie's pink name that she describes her pink fabrics. And this is the seam roller, which I could really do with on these tiny 6-inch blocks that we're doing with Jill and Kimmy. So thank you so much for that. And then they also sent me these patterns. So they sent the next one in the seed packet. I don't think it's the last. I think there's one more, which will be the last. This is the pansies. And so these have got fabulous finishing kits that are available, because I've seen how they finished the one before last on their Flosstube last week. And so you can get the chart and the finishing kits at Fat Quarter Shop. They also send me, so this is the Stitch Quarterly. Isn't that cute? I just love that. They finished this. There's a stitch pack for this in Classic Colourworks, all the usual sort of holly berry and mistletoe. And this is 111 stitches square, so not that big if you're stitching it on a tiny count linen. Really pretty. So this is Silent Night, Holy Night, All is Calm, All is Bright by It's So Emma. So I'm going to give those two as a giveaway this time. If you would like to win the 2 cross-stitch charts, please use the number 1. Then they also sent me this fabulous Aster Trails quilt. So this is fat quarter friendly with 3 different sizes. Again, this is by It's So Emma, and this one is sewn in the Aster Trails quilt featuring the Quail Run collection by Kansas Troubles for Moda Fabrics. Kansas Troubles are just the most beautiful fabric colours. So there's a few options there, and you've got small lap, large lap and queen, and you can see the 2 different styles. So that's one. And then this one, I couldn't believe they sent me this. Obviously there's going to be quilts, maybe a quilt along or something coming, because I've had this from years ago. So this is an old chart book, sorry. Now there are lots of options in this book. The Great Granny Squared is a new twist on the traditional block. Laurie does amazing block instructions, and there are 2 quilts. The granny blocks are in several different sizes, 1 table runner, 1 pillow, and 2 adorable embroidery quilt labels. So I already have this, so I'm happy to share it. It's quite heavy, so I'll probably take it out of the plastic, which adds even more weight, because it'll cost a fortune to ship. But if you'd like to win these 2 quilt charts, please use the number 2. Guys, don't use the word giveaway in your comments. I notice I don't normally give the rules because I find that a bit boring, but you've got to be over 18 to give me your home address so I can ship them, which I've never said. And don't use the word giveaway, because apparently I will get weird people coming on, or bots or something, and we don't want that. And then the last thing they sent me was this, to make the 10-inch gorgeous paper roses, to make rose blocks for the Laurie Holt quilt. I mean, look at that. And I've seen Kimberly doing lots of different styles of this. So this is a scrappy, but she's done it where the reds are dark on the outside, going to light in the middle, on her quilty Flosstube on a Friday live. She's so talented. Everything Kimberly Jolly does, I'm obsessed with. So thank you so much, Fat Quarter Shop, for sending me those. I had one other amazing thing in the Happy Mail this month. Now, you know that Suzanne and Joanne from Historical Sampler Company are so kind. For a while, they've agreed to send me their monthly box, and it comes beautifully kitted like this, with this gorgeous wax paper. This is the cotton and twine box that is a monthly thing, and every month they have either their own designs, and can I say, their own designs are gorgeous. They sell them in John Lewis. They sell Historical Sampler Company charts in the Fat Quarter Shop. They do amazing wedding charts, birth charts, all of those special events and occasion charts. Little boy, little girl ones with the weights. They're really beautiful. And this time they sent me this gorgeous spring chart. Now this is by, let me put it down so you get the idea, don't you, what the box looked like. This month was designed by the amazing Faye from Little Dove Designs, and that's what it looks like. It's so pretty, ready for Easter. So this is the February cotton and twine stitch, and if you subscribe to Cotton and Twine on the Historical Sampler Company website, you can have lots of options. They've sent me what is called the gift box. It's amazing value. You should gift it to yourself. If you don't want the full gift box, you can also just get the kit to do the cross stitch, which is this bit, which has the lovely linen. I think this is 32 count, and the threads, beautiful Easter colours, all beautiful. Remember the Christmas one I did, which was so stunning, on a thread card in the East of India beautiful bag, ready for spring. Colour charts, black and white charts, and also in the kit would come the finishing material, which is this beautiful, almost textured gingham, and the pom-pom trim to finish it exactly like they have here. And there's a QR code that you can click on to have finishing instructions to help you. If you get the gift box like this, you also get the tea bag, the chocolate eggs I've done so well not to eat those. I'm going to keep those out and have them now because I haven't had my breakfast yet. And this absolutely darling. Their decorations are something else. Remember at Christmas, I had those stunning decorations. Look at this. It's just really tasteful. This bunny with the little bow and a pearl, and it's just absolutely lovely. I love it, and I'm going to keep this and put it on an Easter tree. I feel I need to probably find myself. So that is the gift box, and that this time will be giveaway number 3. So those are my 3 giveaways, okay? 1 was the cross stitch charts, 2 was the quilt charts, 3 was that. And now I'm just quickly going to tell you the winners. Have I done everything else? Yes, the giveaway winners from last time. So remember, I already had this chart from the Across the Pond Stitch Along for the Bees and Birds sewing roll. So I was going to give mine away. And if you email me at periwinklestitcher@gmail.com, you can tell me, do you want this old chart or would you like the new version of the chart? You can choose which one, because this is the old one. I'm not sure if it's all identical inside in terms of finishing instructions. So let me know what you prefer. The winner of this one is Wee Stitcher 1825. And this is a friend of Lisa in Stitches, who I shouted out last time had done, and she's done it, I think, Flosstube 2, if not 3. Lisa in Stitches, really excellent Flosstube. So Wee Stitcher 1825. The winner of number 2, which was the Linums seed packet from Fat Quarter Shop, that kindly donated. The winner of this was Del Nora Stitches 6612. Del Nora Stitches. Number 3, Hogging Attention by Kim Deal on the Fat Quarter Shop Mad for Plaid bags was Chrissy Lee Glass 8174. Chrissy Lee Glass. The Flower Stand Quilt Pattern by Kim Deal. The winner of this was Lynn Bynes. I know Lynn, she's in my WhatsApp cowslip group. So Lynn, congratulations. Lynn Bynes 2306 has won this fabulous quilt chart. The winner of this really fun number 5 was Laura Rainbird, Farmyard Friends. And I can see Kim's progress in this stitch along is amazing. She hasn't filled the cow in yet, but it looks so pretty. The winner of number 5 is Laura Rainbird 7618. This is really heavy. And the winner of the quilted farm girl, I can't believe I'm not doing this, is number 6 is Shari Witt 1977. And Shari is from a cold and windy Ohio when she commented. Isn't that gorgeous? And again, I've seen Fat Quarter Shop's stitch along progress on their last Flosstube, and it is so cute. This is going to be so pretty, the quilted skirt. So I'll be doing the quilt along, and I can't wait to see progress on this cross stitch along. And then lastly, I was giving away this as number 7, and this was the gorgeous, so many people entered for this one, number 7, the Stitchrovia Stitching Till Spring, with all the beautiful bright colours and the finishing kit for that. So if you entered for that, the winner was Sprinkle of Stitches 3746. And I think I recognise the lovely lady's photo. She's got a gorgeous photo with white hair and glasses on Instagram. So Sprinkle of Stitches, you won this gorgeous cheery spring chart. And if you all get in touch with me, those are the 7 winners from last month. So that's it, guys. How did we do? Oh dear, it's worse than ever, 2 hours 12. The thing is, when I leave it monthly, I get through so much when I have a month at home like that. I've had so much fun stitching up a storm and staying indoors cozy away from all the rain. But hopefully spring's on the way. The crocuses are out. The snowdrops are out. I've actually got a hellebore out, which is just beautiful. I should take a photo and show you for next time. But don't forget to stock up on your Mary Jo Heiny velvet kits, because they're just exquisite and would make a gorgeous dough bowl filler to go alongside your cross-stitch finished pieces. And anyway, happy Galentines for today. Happy Valentines for tomorrow. I hope you're all well and stitching all the things, keeping up with your homeworks, And so until next time, I'll see you next month. Until next time, take care of yourselves and happy stitching. Bye for now.